Hello!
And welcome to season 2 of
Talking Spirit with Tracy and Tash.
Wahaha. This is exciting. So today's subject is living your spiritual side and your human side, whether it's you may be having them in alignment at the moment or you need to be focusing on one more than the other.
Yes, it's not easy being human, and we have the beautiful opportunity to float about in our spiritual self as well. But the two need to exist hand in hand.
Exactly.
And we're talking about how we cope with that today.
Yes. And that if you do need to focus on your human side, that's okay because it's such a thing to do, isn't it? To pull away from that spiritual side a bit, to focus on something you may not necessarily be looking forward to doing,
Yes.
but the fact that it really needs to be done to be able to continue on your journey in a
So,
merry way.
yes, and your human side is all the things that none of us really like always doing, whether that's dealing with people, situations, any kind of thing that makes us feel heavy. And our spiritual side, how we see it, is all the fluffy, lighter stuff, but with the learning and growth.
Yeah.
And the two need to go hand in hand. But sometimes things happen in life where they drag you right down to that human state, whether you want it or not.
Yes, sometimes we just have to ride out these emotions, don't we? The ones that we fight.
Yeah.
Has to be done. Has to be done, Trace.
I mean, we all want to just disappear up our own spiritual whatsits and just go la 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 with our fingers in our ears. But sadly, we can't.
No, no, because we are living a human life as well.
Yes,
And we're here to learn.
we are, which is why all of this makes sense. Why else would we be here otherwise? Having all these not so great things, and sometimes great things happen to
Mm.
us. If we don't learn from it, we're probably going to have to do it all again in the next life.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I don't want to. It's like, oh,
No.
yeah, I'm here to learn, grow, and then move on.
Yeah, in every sense.
In every sense.
We have a theory that you come to Earth, and before you do, you choose what happens to you. Now, can be a bit of a touchy subject, understandably, because those that have had awful lives are probably now shouting at us saying, I would never have chosen this. But in our belief system, it's about going, well, I need to learn and grow. So I'm going to tick all the boxes on that clipboard up in spirit and say, this is what I'm going to face whilst I'm here on earth. And then I'm going to grow from it as my soul ascends. But unfortunately, we forget all that side. So when we come to earth and all the shit happens, we're like, why? Why me? And then me and Tash are here to go, you signed up for it, which luckily no one's yet punched us in the face for
No,
saying.
no. And we see it as evidence, really, when we do past life regression. It's quite interesting to see that sometimes, and I know that I am one of them, where I haven't learnt something from a previous life and I've brought it into this life. And it's like, right now, I need to make that change, learn from that so I don't have to repeat.
Yeah. It's like you might have signed up for patience. Send me tricky things in this next life so I learn patience.
Hmm.
So whatever that looks like. So it's good to look over your life thus far and go, what did I sign up for? Now, this might not sit right for everybody, and we're not trying to say you have to think like this, but for us, it was a bit of a revelation because it all meant a bit more or made a bit more sense. Otherwise, it's just a random sequence of events that happens to you in life,
Yeah,
and you're the victim of it.
yeah,
Having this awareness of, I've almost chosen this because I wanted to learn and grow, I feel in a roundabout way gives you some power.
yeah, 100%.
Though in my next life, I will be a supermodel that naturally generates money just by breathing, has 6,000 cats and a swimming pool.
I love that.
Yeah, you can come too if you like.
Well, oh, we won the cat.
Yeah, you can be my maid.
I'll just have 9 lives. And the next one, I'm just like, and just sleep a lot.
Yeah,
I just want to rest.
I'm just getting a note to my soul. Do not sign up for any more shiz when you go back up there,
Yeah.
girl. Just know.
Oh gosh, it can be so exhausting, can't it? And you do, I don't know about you, Tracy, but at times I sit there and I get so frustrated. And because I too am a believer that we signed up for this, I sit there and sort of almost get angry with myself for doing it and then angry at spirit and going, when is this going to end? But we've got the choice to change the way things are, haven't
Yeah.
we? And the course, or using it to help others
Yes. And I think
benefit from it.
that's the key, isn't it? So not only are we understanding that we chose some of the things that we're here to learn, but we're also more in control of our lives than we realize.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's so powerful, isn't it?
It is. Once you realize that, it's a big game changer, but sometimes that can bring out extra emotions, and guilt is always, I always think, is a one that we seem to fear and
How,
hold on to.
how's that?
Well, I think we always feel we are, to a degree, I think this is from my personal experience, am I partly to blame? Or if I were to break the cycle and change things, there's an element of I feel guilty about that, even though it's good. I've done that, but others may not have, and you kind of
What
sometimes I
is
feel,
this emotion you call? It's not what I feel.
oh, really?
No,
No, I get that a lot. I do.
sociopath.
Yeah. As my chair starts edging further away from Tracy.
There's no such thing as guilt living in this body.
Yeah, no, just I've always well, what I find a lot, and I probably am diverting a bit, I'm not sure, but when I do a lot of readings and it's about releasing, and I can see them letting go of old emotions, old energies, old circumstances, there always seems to be guilt that we hold on to. And it doesn't matter how big or how small, we'll find something to feel guilty about.
Yeah, that's such a human emotion,
It
isn't it?
is. And I feel like that is such a tie.
I think it's a really good way of keeping us small.
Definitely.
Guilt to me means you're not worthy
Yeah.
of progression, or you can't let go of something, because if you do, then you're not sort of self-flagellating. It's an interesting one. I think that's a good point, guilt. So maybe in a past life you had something to do around guilt and you brought it into this
Yeah.
life, and your part of your journey is to work out what that is so you can not live in guilt.
Yeah, and as empaths, I think we hold on to guilt. I mean, even something silly as, and I use this example a lot, forgetting to buy your nan's loaf of bread on the way home from work or something, and you kind of almost play on it, you get frustrated, do you know? And it's like, we just seem to find guilt and just hold on to it and just keep it with us and sort of go back to that at times, like, oh gosh, I remember that time. Oh, I felt so bad about that. And it's like, you forgot, so what? Do you know? It's like,
Yeah.
get it the next day or whatever, but we always seem to just have to hold on to something.
We always hold on for too long.
We do.
It's a human trait, isn't it? And I think if you are on your spiritual path as well, then you learn to give yourself a bit of a break with that and say, I'm I'm a spirit having a human existence, so I'm allowed to make mistakes. I'm allowed to trip up, but I'll grow from it.
Yeah.
And guilt doesn't really make you grow.
No.
It
No.
keeps you stuck.
Yeah.
And I think the spiritual side of things helps you to see a bigger picture that you might not see if you
Mhm.
didn't explore this way of life.
Yes.
And then it brings you a bit of liberation and a
Yes.
bit of like, it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. As I say, as long as you grow.
Yeah.
I
Def
think sometimes I can get angry instead of guilty. I think I can be, well, I wouldn't have to remember that loaf of bread if I didn't have to remember six other things.
Ye
So my guilt probably presents itself in a more of a defensiveness.
yeah, like a frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is well.
Yeah, no, I get that as well. It's really interesting because I think guilt also plays a part in, whether or not you're having to still step away from your spiritual side a little bit or maybe your human side a little bit. And I know that over the summer I had to, and some of you know this, so I'm really sorry if you're hearing it again, but I had to sort of step away from my spiritual side and focus on my human side because something came unexpectedly
Yeah.
and it was a bit of a shock, and it was to do with my husband's health. And it was really hard because I really do try and live in the spiritual side of things, but there are times when we just have to go, hang on a minute, I have to deal with this. And I don't know about anyone else, but I fear releasing emotions.
Yeah.
And it was all these different emotions that I was feeling. I wasn't feeling in control. But I knew I had to go through this moment for things to work to help others as well.
How do you mean?
Because it had such a knock on effect, and because he was in hospital for what, 2.5 weeks, I had to be there for the kids. I had to sort of be there to help. I mean, I know we run the house anyway, but it was like having to step up. Um,
So there's no space
there
for
was
being all spiritual. It's
there,
certainly not working in this.
there wasn't,
Mm.
and I really missed it. And I think that really played. on my emotions a lot because I love my spiritual side. And as you know, work is my escapism and it's my way of almost dealing with things. But I had to deal with human life
Yeah.
and I had to get everything on track. I had to be there for my husband. At the same time, I had to take care of myself to be able to do all that. And then knowing that I'll be able to step back in, and it's knowing that.
Yes.
Because if I delayed that and just focused on my spiritual side and go, "Oh, what will be," would still be delayed, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
It makes total sense. So you had to step into the human, deal with that human, very human situation,
Yeah,
very high emotion. And you're still spiritual. You'll always be spiritual, but you couldn't partake any of that because your space, your mind had to be in very grounded
it
reasons.
really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's times when we have to, yes, that was an unexpected, but there are times when we know there is stuff that we need to deal with in our human life and that we procrastinate about doing it, but we got to.
Yeah.
We've got to. If we want to continue on this path of ours, there are stuff that we have to deal with.
Yeah. It's a balancing act. And then on the other side of the coin, it's people that have had really bad things happen who do believe in spirit, but then turned their back on that spiritual world because they just feel so forgotten by spirit.
Yes,
Things have I know someone in my family who lots of things have happened to them and they've lost someone and they've never heard from that person or they've had no signs and they feel like they've had no contact, no reassurance from the spiritual side of life. So they've turned their back on it because it cuts both ways,
it
doesn't it?
does. Yeah. But I think also the spiritual side, I mean, it's easy for us to say this because we work with them as well. It's almost like there's not a timeline.
Yeah.
We can't sit there and go, right, we'll feel this at this point spiritually. This person will come through, or this is where I'm going to be on my path by this point. We are handing it over a bit to spirit as well.
Trusting.
And it's trusting. And it might be, yes, they've not come through, but now's not the time.
I find as well that when someone is in high emotion, i.e., they've lost someone and they're feeling it, it feels like spirit can't get close.
Yeah.
There's almost that such high emotion, understandably, that that spirit person is aware of that emotion, but also it kind of almost acts as of a barrier
Yeah.
because I think what it means is that you need that space to be grieving.
Yes.
You need that space to feel the emotions. And that's what we're talking about today,
Yeah.
isn't it? To be human and to be spirit. And some days are more human and some days are more spiritual. But what you must never forget to do is feel the feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's really important.
And it's
Definitely feel
okay
the
to feel the feelings because we can't all be Zen all the time. And I don't think that is the point. We can go home back to spirit and be Zen because apparently that's what they all do there. But while we're here, we have to feel all the emotions. We've got a harder job because we are spirit, but with a human shell. So we are going to feel things that perhaps spirit wouldn't because of our human side.
Yeah.
And so we have a harder gig if you look at it like that. So we need to be a little bit more kinder to ourselves if we get sudden rages or issues with people. We are learning constantly on how to manage that. And I think if you can get a lesson from something that's happened, then that's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. But do you find that sometimes there is also the life lessons within the human? So, when history repeats itself and you're feeling the same emotions and you're sitting there going, right, I have to deal with this again, or I have to deal with this again, or I don't fit in this group. And then oh, now I'm not fitting in this group, or oh, now this group, I don't know. This is like a time where it's part of that you're here to learn, isn't
Yeah.
it? I feel if something repeats, it's like stop, go within. It's like combining the two. So this is happening in the human life, right? Spiritually, I've got to sit there and go, right, what's going on here? The fact that I don't seem to fit in to all these
Mm.
groups. Maybe they're saying similar things. Maybe they're having similar mannerisms towards you. It's like, right, okay, so that's my human side. Spiritually, I've got to go within. What am I missing? What am I not learning? Is this something that I'm meant to learn from?
Rather than always looking outside for blame or even answers, if everywhere you go, the same thing is happening, when it's a negative thing, you need to probably look at yourself. And we know,
100%.
and I'm sure everyone listening all knows that one person that just seems to go off on this trail of destruction where every time they join a new friendship circle or workplace or whatever it might be, they are the problem but
Yeah.
cannot see it. So they need to look within and go, why does this keep happening?
Yeah. What's the common denominator
Yeah.
here? Do you know, it's
But
yeah,
on the flip side, there can be times like with a job, you keep going from job to job to job. And you think, am I the problem? And it's not. It's because you're not in the right field or
yeah,
industry.
yeah,
So sometimes you are the problem,
yeah,
and sometimes you are repeating history and not stopping where you're meant to be and heading in a new direction. And
exactly.
with going within, you get the answers. So when you go within, for us, it's about sitting in the power, which Tash and I have talked about in the last season. And we can post a link to YouTube where you can sit in the power. So if anyone doesn't know what that means, it's a 7-minute exercise to go underneath the noise of being human and sit in the sanctuary of your own peaceful soul. And you remember who you are in those moments, but also the human stuff doesn't seem so big. So it's a bit of respite from your lives. Now, if you want to be spiritual and human and do it well, I would suggest sitting in the power. And then you can look within and go, am I the problem here?
Honestly, it's a game changer sitting in the power,
Yeah.
isn't it? It really is. And the fact that it's 7 minutes, because I can't do a long meditation. I'm a big believer in meditations, but I struggle with them. But sitting in the power, that 7 minutes just flies by.
Yes.
And then over time, you can do it quickly, can't you? You
Yeah.
can just go, right, I'm in the power.
Yeah. I can go from talking to you now and then mindfully say, right, I'm going inwards, I'm going away from my brain, but into my core, into my soul, into my intuition. And it feels like a totally different
It
energy.
does.
It's only practice, like you say,
Yeah.
that's got me there.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you need that balance, dear listener, of spirit and human, and actually sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees. Is it me? Is this a lesson or is it just the shit show? Go within and that answer will come pretty quickly and it will be the truth.
Because we all want to be happy, don't we?
Yeah.
We want to be happy in ourselves. We want people around us to have nice, beautiful energy. We just want that lovely, lovely environment.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it just feeds. It feeds and feeds and feeds. And you could become an old lady with such a neck. Do
Oh,
you know where this is going? In the hot chocolate. Got to go there.
talking of lessons and when to look within and go, what do I need to learn from this?
So make sure you've got your tea and your, what's that biscuit called? Rich tea biscuit.
Oh, we're going to tell you a story.
She's no Tom Hardy, but listen up, lovelies.
Oh dear, yes. So just sort of to say before I recount encounter this experience, sometimes big things happen to try and get our attention so that we learn from it. That's where I'm just going to place that. Anyway, where we work, it's very limited for parking. So we found these spaces in empty offices. No one parks there. Just remember that part. And they back onto some old people's elderly folk. Let's
Yeah.
not be,
The more mature.
yeah, not be ageist here. And so to be able to park all day without having to remortgage your home, I've been parking in these spaces. And we've heard that there's a particular woman who's not happy about it. She likes to police the spaces that aren't hers. And one of our colleagues parked there once and got a laminated sign that said, "Do not park here." So lovely. So I parked there one day and I got back, and lo and behold, there was a sign on my windscreen: "Do not park here. You could be clamped." And I thought, well, no, I can't, but thank you. And I was upset it wasn't
I was going to
laminated.
say, yeah.
I mean, where's the
I mean,
effort?
the sign was all there, really, wasn't it? Not
I
laminated.
felt like she slipped a bit.
Yeah.
So anyway, I could have just driven off. And I was going to, but then I thought, well, I don't really want this bit of paper. So I ripped it up and got out the car and put it in their bin. And as I was driving off in my wing mirror, I saw a lady running towards me, an elderly lady, Terminator style, towards the car. And I thought, oh God, no, just drive, Trace. You know that moment where you think, just go, it's like in a horror film. And anyway, she caught up with me and she banged on my window. So I put the window down and she let rip about parking in this space. I mean, she was angry. It was angry to the point where there might have even been a bit of spittle around her mouth, you know? And I,
Glistening in the sun. It's just set the scene.
yeah, enraged. Mad eyes. And I said to her, "It's not your space." And I said, "I'm not having this conversation," and kind of went to put the window up. And as I did, she reached in and yanked my hair, Yes, she did that. And I was in a bit of shock because all of a sudden my head was like not upright. It was like,
Get someone to
she then ran off. Again, it's quite impressive given her age. So I turned the car off and I thought, right, no, no. I got out of the car and I said, don't you dare pull my bloody hair. And I said to Tasha afterwards, I was so impressed that I just said bloody, but I did sound quite posh. Apparently, I'm posh when I'm angry. And she ran off. And then this doddery old man appeared, bless his heart, started shouting at me. And I'm saying, your wife yanked my hair. How bloody dare you? And they both started saying, it's not your space. I said, but it's not yours. And you know when it gets from ridiculous to even more
yeah,
ridiculous? And I looked into his eyes and I just thought, I'm having an argument about a parking space with an old man. So I went to go and she said, you're a real bitch. It reminded me of something from Dynasty. And I said, well done. You went there and gave her a little clap. And I said, I'll see you Monday. Anyway, so other things were said, and I got in the car and I just thought, that's so ridiculous. I'm not even angry. I'm just bewildered by what the hell that was. 0 to 60.
yeah,
It was almost comedic. So I drove off and I said to Spirit that night, I'm done with people. This was ridiculous. And it'd been like a load of things happening where people had just been over the top in their reaction. Now, bearing in mind, I hadn't escalated it. I had ripped the sign up, but I didn't leave it on the floor.
no,
Or like I said, like throw it in the air like confetti
yeah.
or shove it in her mouth. But I put it in the bin.
I'm so visual. I've just seen this all over paper. Just going to this old lady's mouth.
And I just want to point out again, I am human and I am spirit. So the Zen part of me said, Tracy, don't think about shoving it in her mouth. But the human side said, do it. But I didn't. So I thought, right, I need to learn something from this because it is ridiculous. And so I went to bed and said, Spirit, you need to tell me what I need to learn here because I just can't see why someone is so upset about a parking space that isn't theirs. That doesn't even impact their lives. If it was their space or their drive or in their view, I get it.
Yeah,
They can't even see the space where they are, but they've just decided no one shall park there. So I thought, why am I trying to understand crazy? Because let's face it, there is an element of
no,
that
yeah,
here. And then in the morning, I woke up and I went on Facebook, and straight away I was shown that Let Them theory by Mel Robbins. So I immediately downloaded that on Audible, the Let Them theory, because I knew it was important that I listened to it. And it's about not trying to understand other people or control them, because my reaction was go and park there and leave the car
yeah,
because I want to win. I want to have control in this. And actually, why should I let it ruin my peace? So the lesson for me there was I cannot let other people's actions, ways ruin my peace.
yeah.
All I can do is behave like an adult. I mean, I don't know if I hit that, but
I think you did really well. Just, I don't mean to sound patronizing, but you did a really good job of reining it in. Like you didn't, I mean, I'm not saying that you are that person, but that could easily go somewhere else. She was lucky it was you.
yeah,
And I think this is also a good point where it's like, let them, but the next person that she does that to may not be so spiritual,
so
let's say,
forgiving.
yeah, or so forgiving, and
Yeah.
she will meet her match.
Well, that's the worry, isn't it? Because if you, as an older woman, want to pull someone's hair, someone might react to that assault with a punch. So I was quite proud of myself. I still think I should have just driven off and left it. But then this is going back to the human side and honoring it. No, I was annoyed and I'm
Yeah,
allowed to be annoyed. And I'm allowed to say why. Back 20 years ago, she might not have fared too well. Let's face it,
yeah.
because I would have been a lot younger,
A lot feistier.
about 5, and probably not so in control of my emotions. But because I have spent a lot of time
Yeah,
on a spiritual journey trying to manage both the spiritual and the human side, maybe I've mastered that a bit more than I ever have done. But I knew there was a lesson in it. So I do not want anyone ruining my
yeah,
peace, but people I have to exist with, and people will ruin your peace. Let them do that, but let me say, no, I don't want that. I choose not to be affected. I will get annoyed if I need to. I'll protect myself, but I'm not going to then spend 2 weeks raging about it in my head.
yeah. I think this is the thing, especially as empaths, and we don't like injustice. So it's like, no, I want to point out to you that you're not right. And, on the flip side, if that was you as the elderly woman, you would go in and go, maybe she's got a point. It's just a car park. Gosh, look how it's making me feel. I pulled her here. Like you would go within and really break that down and go, oh my gosh, that
I just lost my shit.
yeah, over a car park
Yeah.
because you've got that. You're doing your spiritual side and your human side. Where if she's reached the ripe old age of 90 and she's still doing this, she's probably going to have to come back in the next lifetime going through a similar
And more.
experience and more. Yeah, because she hasn't sorted it out, and her poor husband's probably going to have to be married to her again.
I looked into his eyes and I just thought, oh, the poor sod's
You
been married to
broken
this
man, broken
anger.
man.
I have to say I was impressed that she could run like Bionic Woman at that age as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even run like that, but she was fueled by anger. So
Oh
that was my
gosh.
lesson learned. And I just want to point out at this point, universe, no more of them, thanks.
Yeah.
I've had my hot chocolate moment, see previous episodes, and I've had an old woman yank my hair through the car.
Imagine if you had extensions and she just has this whole heap of hair and you just wind up your window like she was just drive off.
No, I'd be more like, do you know how much those cost
Yeah,
me?
that's it. Send her the bill, dear. Yeah, it's we're learning in so many different ways, aren't we?
But I think, you could say, why should I have to learn about that? But actually, I wanted to. I like learning patience. I like learning the bigger picture. And I like learning that people have reasons for why they are. I might
Yeah,
not like it, but understanding that her emotional maturity or capacity is very low, isn't it?
yeah,
If you think about, like, again, with this let them theory, and Mel Robbins talks about this, most of us are 8-year-olds
yeah.
emotionally. So pulling someone's hair is very much a childlike thing.
Oh, it really is.
So there, like you say, there is no growth there. And I don't want to be that person. I'd rather have some experiences where I have perhaps not great things happen, like hot chocolate thrown in my face or a woman pulling my hair, because then I go, right, what can I do to learn from this?
Yeah,
Because what I could have done, Tash, is, like I said, spent 2 weeks stewing on it and then gone back and parked there and had all sorts of repercussions. Or you could take the spiritual route and go, okay, I choose not to. I
yeah.
choose my peace and I'm never going to have this again because I tell you what I'm going to do is this, this, and this. And it gives me power.
And it doesn't consume your thought process as much either. Plan on going back, that's all you're going to think about. And you'll be thinking about, right, if she was to come out again and did this, I'll do this. And then, do you know what I mean? It's almost like
Yeah.
you've got a game, plan A, B, C, and D for whatever, however she's going to react to it.
And isn't that such a human thing to do? To lay in bed and go, I should have, could have, would
Yeah,
have. And actually, you didn't. So why create these other scenarios or
exactly.
alternate realities? Well, just leave it.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
destroys your peace.
Exactly. And like as you were talking, Spirit just showed me, well, that those car parks have been sold now for development. So she's probably going to have diggers, builders, those concrete breaking machines that are really noisy. She's going to have all of that, buildings, So to be honest, I'd rather a car park there than all
Yeah.
that. So
Well,
she's
that's
got,
it, isn't
yeah,
it? That's exactly that. If you worry about the little things, bigger things will come and replace them.
100%.
And it goes back to your original point of I had to make time for my family and my husband because you were in that human side. But if you'd spent the whole time in your human side, every little thing's going to come big and be a
Yeah.
problem. And whereas you have your break, you can go into your spiritual side, you see the big picture. When it's time to go back into the human and be there for your family, you're not already exhausted or broken or angry. You've rested.
Yeah. And I always find, and I don't know about you, but when I have to step back into sort of the human side for a bit, when I go back into the spiritual side, I'm stronger and more powerful. I don't mean that in like an ego, but I feel like I've evolved spiritually,
Yeah, like you've just,
stronger.
you know
Yeah.
stuff. You just feel more confident in yourself.
Then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you could spend the whole time just being locked in a room, not peopling, not trying to avoid experiences. But this really isn't what this life's about.
No.
As we said, is about signing up for stuff and living it and learning from it.
Yeah. And the longer that we delay, the longer we're going to be back on track on that path.
How do you mean?
So it's like the procrastination. If you've got a situation that you need to deal with, maybe if you need to have words with someone, and you're
Yes.
really holding it off, you're delaying your own progress
Mm.
because you're not dealing with what needs to be dealt with, in this human world.
And that's it. You've nailed the theme. It's dealing with
It
stuff.
is.
Deal with things
Yeah.
and they don't become bigger.
Yeah.
Deal with your human side, deal with your spiritual side, deal with your emotions, deal with your repercussions, deal with how you affect other people. Face it, look at it, and grow from it.
100%. And this is the thing. It's I know I've spoken about this a few times, but it's like with my dad. It's coming up 2 years, and I know uh, I'm still holding stuff in because I fear that emotion. But the longer I'm fearing it, the longer it's taking me to sort of move on. Not that I'd ever move on, but it's not as easy as it should be. I'm to the point that I can't sit with his energy yet. And I know it's because I'm fearing that emotion that I really need to release.
So you feel like it will come out as a huge kind of
Yeah.
eruption of emotion and snot.
Yeah. Well, full of bubbles, not bubbles. I mean, picture that, guys. Yeah. But I think when I do, and I know when I do, I
It
will
won't be
feel
as
so much lighter and I'll feel so much more connected to him.
and it won't be as bad,
And it won't,
perhaps.
yeah, I don't, yeah, it's probably not going to be as bad. It's never normally as bad as what you think it is because the longer you procrastinate, the more you feed it, if that makes any sense. So
Does.
it is just sort of thinking, God, right, I've just got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's that yin and yang, being your human, being your spiritual, and sometimes you're in both. But just live and be and face the emotions, face the challenges, and see them as growth rather than attacks.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's as easy. Like no one's ever going to go, I've lost someone. Oh, I'll grow from this. You're going to be in that grip.
Oh, 100%.
And to say otherwise is insulting.
Yeah,
But ultimately, like what doesn't kill you.
yeah,
And trust me, there's often times when I say, I don't know, please, Trace, not have signed up to anything more. I do not want any, I don't want the big, big stuff. I've done that in previous lives. I don't want it in this life.
mm,
I don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here going, give it to me or I can deal with it because I've got a spiritual solution to everything. It's more, it helps me.
yeah. And it's okay to struggle.
It
It's
is.
okay to struggle. And what I'm being shown as well is it's okay to ask someone for help or have someone to confide in because it's not a sign of weakness, it's support. And I think we've got to sometimes not let stubborn pride get in the way and think, no, I can do this.
Yeah. It's true, isn't it? It's like you can work out things like the emotion, the spiritual lesson. But sometimes you just need to share it and air it. And sometimes you just need to cry
Yeah,
because you're human. There is no moment in time as a human where you go, I've nailed it. I've nailed
yeah.
being human now. We are up and down like yo yos. We have so many emotions. We have so many things to contend with, especially women. We have hormones. We have perimenopause. I'm not saying men don't. We have a lot of peaks and troughs, highs and lows that we have to deal with. And don't forget the bloody moon.
Oh, yeah, I've got a love-hate relationship with the moon.
Same
Yeah, it's my friend and enemy in one.
simultaneously.
Yeah,
We have a lot to contend with as humans, as well as trying to do life and pay the bills. Give ourselves a break. There is no point unless we reach spirit where we've mastered it in life. And I feel I'm guilty of that going, when I'm this in balance and everything's good, it's like it's not. Life is very rarely in balance. And if it is brilliant, enjoy it for that moment because it's going to go again.
yeah. Yeah, there's always something we're learning, but it's how we change our thought process in dealing with it and learning from it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we've had to really work hard on over the years to understand. And we're not saying that we've nailed it.
So that pretty much sums up our episode today. I hope that you find some of this has resonated with you and maybe even helped you, or you just enjoyed my hair yanking story, whatever it is. As always, we're so grateful for you to join us. If you want to make a comment, that'd be amazing. Assuming it's a nice one, and if it's not, please don't.
Let us know where you're from as well.
Yeah,
We've got this thing about what countries are listening. I mean, because we're so worldwide.
international
We're so
media.
universal.
So, my lovelies, remember,
To stay curious
stay magical
and stay tuned.
for the next episode of
Talking Spirit
with Tracy and
Tash.
Yay! Bye bye.
Ciao.